Alright, welcome to Fixing Stuff 3. In Fixing Stuff 3, we look at fixing this finite stuff right here. See these shading issues that we're having on the mesh? You know, we've repaired most of it. We've added some detail more to the brick. But what about this stuff? Let's look at the UVs on this. I did the atypical student setup. You know, the one where they don't really want to do UVs, they just do UVs to do UVs. And the mesh looks okay here in Maya, but if you look at the UVs, they're this. They're all over the board. And what happens in this account, it works great for the color, but not the light mass. So I have a UV set, it's called map 1. How could I get another map in here since the color looks okay? There are some issues, like for instance these little finite pieces, you could probably end up doing those via automatic map. They're so small, they really are. This is a uniform texture. In other words, it has the same amount of pattern everywhere. It's got a normal map and a color map, and these pieces right here would probably be best served if I had an increased area where the texture could be into this mesh. Okay, so what I have to do is separate this out. Alright, then we're going to look at taking the little meshes and grouping them all together and taking that one. Let's combine them. So now I have these, and you can look over here, I have this. Alright, let's create UVs automatic mapping. I hate using automatic mapping, I really do. Anybody that talks to me, you know, I loathe it. But look how much more detail I get because of it. Okay, just because of the small areas that these are. Normally I wouldn't use that, but this is the one occurrence I might use it. The only other thing you could do is jump into a front view and take a Create UV's planar map, and that would increase the resolution of just this one area. You'll have overlap, but you could go like this, and it's going to take you a while. You would take edge, double click on it, and then go over here and click that. Also, you would have to cut it here at the bottom. Separate it out. And then for each one of these little pieces, you would have to go like this. Unfold. And I would unfold to about right here. Okay, now look at it. Much better, right? So the level of time it takes to fix it is worth it. I'll do a couple more pieces here. Good. Now I'll keep the rest of them the way they are. And I'll combine the whole thing back together. Now that doesn't do much for the UVs on light mass, however. That just increases the texture resolution, not the light mass resolution. So I'm still going to have those evil shading issues. Well, here's map 1, and what I can do is create UVs, copy UVs to UV set, copy into a new UV set, and call it map 2. So now what I have is UV set 1 and UV set 2. In UV set 2, I can make automatic mapping happen. Let's see. Light mass likes automatic mapping. But it also likes to have distance between these pieces. So if I do a layout, I think it's 128 if I remember right. Increases the distance just a little bit. Percentage space, that's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to shoot for 256, and I'm going to also shoot for the increased space. Just like that. Alright, now let's export this piece back into the engine. Modify center pivot, get into my front view, 4 on the keyboard to find home, and then X to get into the middle of the scene. Let's export the selection, export it right over the top of it. And let's go back to the UDK and see what we can do. I'll right click on this and say re-import static mesh. Hit continue. Now I want to make absolutely sure that's the right one that I did, so double click on it, hit UVs. So that is not. File, export selection. So always check that. Okay, let's go back to the engine. So a great way to tell is just look at the UVs. Re-import. There we go. Double click on it. Now it seems to be using the correct UV set for the color because the color is correct. Here's UV set for 1. Here's UV set 0. Good, good. And let's go like this and build the lighting now. So that's much better. Look at, there's no weird shading issues. And if you look close, the one meshes that I did take the time to repair, this looks a lot better than this. Just to prove that time is well spent if you really love what you do. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed.